sets the stage for the story, establishing both the stakes and the key characters, while immediately immersing the reader in the perilous galaxy they inhabit. The narrative begins with the twin princesses of the Xylarian Empire, Sira and Lyra, who are central to the story. These sisters are not just figures of beauty or ceremonial importance. They are symbols of leadership, intelligence, and grace within their empire. Their upbringing has been one of rigorous training, designed to prepare them for diplomacy, governance, and survival in a galaxy full of threats. Despite this, even they are vulnerable to unforeseen danger, highlighting that no matter how advanced or disciplined a society is, there are forces beyond control that can change everything in an instant. The inciting incident occurs when the princess's royal ship is ambushed near the Nebula of Shadows, a notoriously deadly and mysterious region of space. The nebula is described as impossible because it is not just physically dangerous but also technologically hostile. Its dense, swirling clouds interfere with sensors and navigation systems, and its energy anomalies make travel perilous even for the most sophisticated alien ships. By presenting this challenge early, the story immediately communicates the scale of danger and the unique threat posed by the environment itself. The Nebula of Shadows is more than a backdrop. It is almost a character in its own right, one that demands respect and ingenuity to navigate. The threat the princesses face comes from the Verlax Syndicate, a group of ruthless space pirates notorious for ambushing high-value targets. The story establishes the Syndicate as a formidable antagonist whose presence raises the stakes. They are not just a random obstacle. They represent a real, intelligent threat capable of outmaneuvering conventional forces. Their attack is strategic, exploiting the treacherous environment of the nebula to ensure the Xylarian Empire's ships cannot mount a successful defense. By positioning the Verlax Syndicate against the princesses, the story sets up a scenario that requires extraordinary skill and courage to resolve. Enter Captain Ethan Riker, the human pilot who embodies the HFY. Humans are extraordinary themes central to the story. Unlike the aliens, whose ships rely heavily on technology and protocols, humans like Ethan are depicted as adaptable, intuitive, and willing to take risks that others would avoid. The narrative contrasts his mindset with the hesitation of alien pilots, emphasizing that humans' ability to improvise under pressure is a defining trait. The story conveys this through Ethan's immediate decision to respond to the call for help, demonstrating his courage and decisiveness. While others hesitate or refuse to enter the nebula, he acts without delay, illustrating the classic HFY trope that humans thrive where others falter. Ethan's entry into the nebula is described vividly to highlight the challenge and danger. The nebula's electromagnetic disturbances and sensor failures immediately test his skill, forcing him to rely not on automated systems, but on his instincts and judgment. This moment serves to both elevate Ethan as a hero and to underscore the story's central message: human adaptability and intuition can overcome even technologically or environmentally impossible odds. The description of his ships, systems flickering and failing, not only builds tension, but also establishes the stakes for the reader. Failure here would mean certain death for both Ethan and the princesses. Part 1 also introduces the narrative tension between fear and courage. Alien fleets hesitate at the nebula's edge, representing the broader galaxy's underestimation of humans. By contrast, Ethan's willingness to enter the danger zone immediately positions him as a protagonist whose strengths, courage, adaptability, and a fearless mindset are fundamentally human. This sets up the story's HFY theme, where human traits are shown to be uniquely powerful. Even in a universe full of advanced civilizations and formidable challenges, the story shifts from setting the stakes and introducing the characters to immersing the reader in the central challenge. Ethan Riker, navigating the Nebula of Shadows. This section emphasizes both the peril of the environment and the extraordinary abilities humans bring to situations that seem impossible to others. The narrative here demonstrates the HFY humans are extraordinary theme in full force, showing how human intuition, creativity, and adaptability allow them to succeed where alien civilizations falter. The Nebula of Shadows is introduced as a living, almost sentient force of nature, one that resists intrusion by even the most advanced technology. Unlike conventional space hazards, the nebula's dangers are not static. Energy storms twist unpredictably, gravitational distortions form and vanish within moments, and crystalline formations erupt from the nebula's clouds, threatening to pierce and crush any ship that passes through. This description establishes the environment not merely as an obstacle, but as a dynamic, intelligent adversary. It creates an intense sense of danger and suspense, forcing the reader to understand that survival requires more than firepower. It demands ingenuity and split-second decision-making. Ethan's works, navigation through this treacherous environment, is described as a mixture of skill, instinct, and improvisation. Unlike alien pilots who rely heavily on rigid protocols, automated systems, and pre-programmed maneuvers, Ethan uses human intuition. He reads subtle cues from the nebula, shifts in energy patterns, the way the clouds react to gravitational anomalies, and the behavior of debris. This reliance on instinct illustrates a key HFY concept. Humans are not bound by rigid logic or technology. They adapt, improvise, and make decisions in ways that can seem reckless to others, but are perfectly suited for survival in unpredictable conditions. The narrative also highlights Ethan's resourcefulness in combat situations. As he navigates through the nebula, Verlac's warships attempt to intercept him. However, he turns the nebula's hazards to his advantage. For example, he uses gravitational turbulence to slingshot past enemy ships and reverse his engines. It's mid-spin to avoid colliding with collapsing energy columns. These maneuvers emphasize not only his skill, but also his ability to think creatively under pressure. It's a hallmark of human ingenuity. Whereas alien pilots are constrained by pre-programmed protocols and fear of risk, Ethan thrives in chaos, turning every threat into an opportunity. Part 2 also develops the relationship between Ethan and the princesses, though indirectly. Inside their damaged ship, Sierra and Lyra observed this lone human pilot navigating what they believed was an unsurvivable environment. Their perspective underscores just how extraordinary Ethan is. Even trained, disciplined, and technologically advanced Xylarians are in awe of the human's audacity and capability. The sisters' reactions serve as a mirror to the reader, highlighting the extraordinary nature of human courage and adaptability. They witness firsthand how one human can challenge the limits of what is considered possible in the galaxy. The writing emphasizes tension and pacing. The Nebula of Shadows is constantly shifting, ensuring that Ethan and the reader never feel safe. Each second carries the threat of collision, energy surges, or enemy attack. This relentless pace creates suspense, while also showcasing the HFY theme. Humans do not panic under pressure. They act, adapt, and find solutions. Ethan's calmness in the face of overwhelming odds reinforces his heroism and serves as a contrast to alien pilots who hesitate, doubt, or retreat. Finally, Part 2 sets up the climax of the rescue mission. By successfully navigating deep into the nebula, Ethan reaches the coordinates of the ambushed royal ship. Here, the narrative tension peaks. The princess's ship is surrounded, shields failing, with enemy fire closing in. Alien reinforcements remain outside the nebula, paralyzed by fear and uncertainty. This establishes a narrative pivot point, the moment where human daring will directly confront imminent danger and determine the outcome of the story. In essence, Part 2 serves several purposes. It develops the story's central conflict, establishes the human qualities of courage and ingenuity as key narrative strengths, and builds suspense, leading to the imminent rescue. It contrasts human adaptability with alien rigidity, emphasizing the HFY theme, while also creating is the pivotal point of the story, where the tension built in parts 1 and 2 reaches its peak, and the rescue of the twin princesses occurs. This section combines high-stakes action, character development, and the HFY humans are extraordinary theme, showcasing the human ability to overcome impossible odds through ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. It also reinforces the contrast between humans and other galactic species, emphasizing why humans are considered uniquely capable. The rescue begins with Ethan Riker arriving at the coordinates of the Xylarian royal ship. This is the moment where the stakes are highest. The ship is damaged, shields are failing, and Verlac's pirate warships surround it, preparing to finish the attack. Here, the narrative emphasizes vulnerability and urgency. The twin princesses, though highly trained and intelligent, are unable to manage the situation alone. Their ship's systems are compromised, and the Verlac's pirate's superior positioning threatens to destroy the vessel in seconds. By establishing this scenario, the story underscores that Ethan's intervention is not just a heroic gesture, but the only viable chance of survival. Ethan's actions during the rescue highlight the HFY theme. Unlike alien pilots who would likely follow standard procedures and perhaps hesitate in fear, Ethan relies on creativity and improvisation. He uses an array of unconventional tactics to counter the Verlac's threat. These include deploying magnetic decoys to confuse enemy sensors, releasing plasma flares to obscure his ship's position, and firing rapid micromissiles to disrupt the pirates' formations. Each action demonstrates human ingenuity in combat situations, emphasizing the capacity to adapt quickly when traditional methods fail. This is not just technical skill. It is strategic thinking combined with instinct, a hallmark of human problem-solving in extreme situations. The docking sequence itself is portrayed as a near impossible feat. Ethan maneuvers the Horizon Hawk alongside the crippled royal ship while under heavy enemy fire, timing every movement with precision. The docking is not a simple mechanical task. It requires anticipating the movement of both ships, compensating for debris, and reacting to shifting energy fields caused by the nebula. This moment highlights human intuition and reflexes in contrast to alien reliance on automated systems. It is a demonstration that, even in the deadliest conditions, humans can trust themselves to act decisively and successfully inside the royal ship. The narrative introduces emotional depth. Syrah and Lyra, the twin princesses, are not passive participants. They actively assist in guiding Ethan through the docking process, providing real-time system adjustments and coordinate signals. However, their admiration for the human pilot is clear. They witness firsthand his calm demeanor, quick thinking, and fearless resolve, which contrasts sharply with the hesitation of other pilots who refuse to enter the nebula. Their perspective allows the reader to appreciate just how extraordinary human qualities appear to other species in the galaxy. It also deepens the bond between Ethan and the princesses, establishing trust and mutual respect that will play a significant role in later parts of the story. The rescue itself is a dramatic, tense sequence. Ethan forces the airlock open under fire, allowing the princesses to evacuate onto his ship. This moment is both literal and symbolic. The human pilot literally saves the princesses from imminent death and symbolically embodies the HFY theme by showing that humans can prevail where others fail. The narrative carefully balances action with suspense, ensuring the reader feels the danger at every moment. The enemy ships are close. The nebula continues to distort space around them, and one wrong move could result in total disaster. Ethan's ability to maintain composure and succeed emphasizes human resilience and adaptability. Finally, Part 3 sets the stage for the next narrative phase, escape and survival. By successfully rescuing the princesses, Ethan has not only prevented immediate catastrophe, but also created a scenario where human ingenuity continues to shine. The Verlac's pirates are now facing a retreating target that moves unpredictably through the nebula. The twin princesses have first-hand evidence of humanity's exceptional capabilities. The story builds anticipation for Part 4, where the significance of the rescue will deepen with the revelation of ancient debts and the human role in galactic history transitions the story from mundane action into a deeper exploration of consequence. History and the HFY humans are extraordinary theme, while the previous parts showcased Ethan Riker's extraordinary piloting skills and human ingenuity in life-or-death scenarios. Part 4 emphasizes the broader significance of his actions, connecting them to a centuries-old bond between humans and the Xylarian Empire. This section enriches the narrative by exploring themes of legacy, gratitude, and cultural memory, while continuing to highlight human capability and adaptability. Immediately following the intense rescue, the twin princesses Sira and Larabi begin to reveal the hidden context of their civilization's history. The narrative introduces an ancient pact, forgotten but binding promise made between humans and the ancestors of the Xylarians. During a critical period in the early history of the Xylarian Empire, Earth's explorers had intervened to save the fledgling civilization from direct extinction during a conflict with another galactic power. This act of intervention, though largely lost in historical records and myths, created a debt of survival that could only be called upon in moments of ultimate peril. By situating Ethan's actions within this historical framework, the story adds layers of narrative weight. His courage and skill are not only heroic on an immediate scale, but also resonate with a legacy. Stretching back generations, this revelation does more than contextualize Ethan's rescue. It elevates human qualities to legendary status in the eyes of the Xylarians. The twin princesses, despite being highly trained leaders, recognized that their survival in this moment was made possible not merely by technological superiority or pre-existing protocols, but by human creativity, courage, and audacity. Where alien civilizations often rely heavily on rules, calculations, and standardized procedures, humans embodied in Ethan exhibit a unique ability to improvise, assess risk in real time, and act decisively under extreme conditions. The story emphasizes that humans are valued not just for raw strength or firepower, but for an adaptability that allows them to succeed against impossible odds. Part 4 also explores the emotional and relational dimension of the rescue. Sira and Lyra, while initially awed by Ethan's skill, gradually begin to appreciate his moral character. Unlike mercenaries, soldiers, or other pilots, Ethan does not act out of duty to a contract or desire for reward. He acts because humans respond to crises with initiative, courage, and responsibility. This personal dimension strengthens the bond between the human pilot and the alien royalty, demonstrating that HFY is not only about physical or mental superiority, but also about moral courage, empathy, and the willingness to take action when others hesitate. This connection between human action and ethical heroism adds a compelling layer to the story, giving readers a reason to admire humans beyond their ability to survive deadly environments. The narrative also reinforces the contrast between humans and other species. Whereas alien fleets may hesitate in fear or defer to protocols that restrict action, humans like Ethan act decisively, even in the face of unknown risks. By invoking the concept of the ancient debt, the story underscores that this human trait has been recognized across millennia. The Xylarians do not simply appreciate Ethan's skill, they acknowledge that his capacity to improvise, endure, and take responsibility is the fulfillment of a promise older than many of their institutions. In doing so, Part 4 ties the HFY theme to both historical legacy and interstellar diplomacy, demonstrating that human qualities leave a lasting impression on civilizations far more advanced and numerous than Earth. Furthermore, Part 4 deepens the story's tension in subtle ways. While the immediate danger of the Nebula and Verlax Syndicate has passed, the narrative hints that the galaxy will continue to observe and respond to this human intervention. Ethan's actions have not only saved lives, but also altered perceptions across the Xylarian Empire and potentially other galactic powers. This sets the stage for Part 5, where recognition, consequence, and reputation come to the forefront, reinforcing the idea that humans operate in ways other species cannot anticipate or fully comprehend. Finally, Part 4 emphasizes the thematic core of HFY. Humans succeed where others fail, not merely because of technology or raw strength, but because of unique qualities: adaptability, courage, intuition, and moral decisiveness. Ethan's rescue of the twin princesses is transformed from an immediate act of heroism into an immediate, culturally, and historically significant event. The narrative uses the ancient debt as a storytelling device to magnify the impact of human action, showing that even a single human, operating with initiative and audacity, can influence entire civilizations and fulfill promises that transcend time. In conclusion, Part 4 serves as a narrative bridge between the adrenaline-fueled rescue and the story's resolution. It deepens character development, reinforces HFY themes, and adds historical and cultural context, showing that human ingenuity, courage, and moral action have lasting repercussions. Ethan Riker is no longer merely a pilot. He becomes a symbol of human excellence, a bridge between, serves as the story's conclusion, providing resolution to the immediate crisis while emphasizing the broader impact of human courage and ingenuity. This section shifts from the high-tension action of the previous parts to focus on recognition, consequences, and the long-term effects of Ethan Riker's heroism. It completes the narrative arc by highlighting not only the rescue of the twin princesses, but also the way humans are perceived across the galaxy, solidifying the HFY humans are extraordinary theme. The immediate focus of Part 5 is the return journey after the successful rescue. Ethan, Sierra, and Lyra must navigate their way back through space to safety. While the dangers of the Nebula of Shadows have been temporarily escaped, the narrative emphasizes that the consequences of the mission extend beyond the immediate environment. The Verlac Syndicate, though temporarily thwarted, remains a threat, and the galaxy has taken notice of a human who dared to do what others refused. This transition from survival to reputation is critical. It shows that human actions are not only effective in the moment, but also have ripple effects throughout the interstellar community. During the return, the story focuses on the relationship between Ethan and the princesses. Sierra and Lyra, initially awestruck by the human's skill, begin to understand the full implications of his actions. Unlike alien pilots, who often rely on rigid protocols and automated systems, Ethan demonstrated a combination of instinct, creativity, courage, and decisiveness that turned a seemingly hopeless situation into success. The princess's admiration represents more than gratitude. It is recognition of qualities they view as exceptional, even among the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. This interaction reinforces the HFY theme by highlighting uniquely human traits: adaptability, moral courage, and the willingness to act decisively under extreme pressure. The narrative then expands to the broader galactic perspective. Word of Ethan's daring mission spreads rapidly across interstellar networks. Other species who may have underestimated humans or considered them technologically or militarily inferior begin to reassess the human potential. The story emphasizes that humans possess a rare combination of skills that allow them to thrive in environments and situations that others find impossible. Ethan's ability to navigate the Nebula of Shadows, outmaneuver the Verlac Syndicate, and rescue royalty single-handedly positions humanity as a force to be reckoned with. Not through overwhelming firepower, but through ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. Another important aspect of Part 5 is the ceremonial and political recognition of Ethan's achievement. Upon returning to the Xylarian capital, the twin princesses formally honor him, offering accolades that no alien pilot had ever received. This recognition is significant because it underscores that Ethan's heroism transcends simple accomplishment. It is a validation of human qualities on a galactic scale. Yet, true to the HFY spirit, Ethan remains humble, viewing his actions as simply what any human would have done. This humility, juxtaposed with extraordinary capability, reinforces the narrative's central theme. Humans are remarkable not because they seek glory, but because they act decisively and creatively in moments of crisis. Part 5 also explores the symbolic and cultural consequences of Ethan's actions. The Nebula of Shadows, once feared as an impassable barrier, is now crossed by a human, demonstrating that human courage and ingenuity can overcome obstacles deemed insurmountable by others. The twin princesses, representing the Xylarian Empire, now have first-hand evidence that humans can be trusted in the most extreme circumstances. This trust is not merely political. It is cultural. It's creating a lasting impression of humans as exceptional beings whose capabilities extend beyond technology or raw strength. It highlights a recurring HFY theme: Humans do not merely survive, they redefine the limits of what is possible. Finally, the story concludes with reflection and legacy. Ethan Riker's mission is complete, but its effects resonate throughout the galaxy. Aliens and empires will remember the human who braved the impossible nebula, saved royalty, and fulfilled an ancient debt. The narrative closes by emphasizing that humans as a species operate differently from others. They adapt, improvise, and prevail, where rigid civilizations fail. Ethan's modesty does not diminish the achievement. Rather, it amplifies the HFY message, showing that human heroism is as much about character and ingenuity as it is about skill and courage. In essence, Part 5 functions as both resolution and thematic reinforcement. It ties together the action of the previous parts, provides closure for the characters, and solidifies the human-centric themes of courage, adaptability, and ingenuity. Ethan's journey through danger to recognition illustrates that humans are uniquely capable and that their actions have consequences that ripple across time, space, and civilization. This conclusion leaves the reader with a sense of awe, admiration, and anticipation for humanity's continued impact on the galaxy.